Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed the silent features of molecular orbital theory. After that, how bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed, we can explain mathematically and based on that another concept, interference. In the today's class, how molecular orbitals are formed by the combination of atomic orbitals. That is our today topic. So, in the chemical bonding and molecular structure topic, when we discuss the molecular orbital theory, mostly we discuss about the homodiatomic molecule or heterodiatomic molecules is beyond the topic of your level. At this moment only, most of the time they concentrated on homodiatomic molecule. Based on that one only, they can given this the combination of atomic orbitals, especially the first and second period elements. They never go to even the third period elements also. So that mostly either s orbital and p orbitals are involved. That means what are that available? 1s, 2s and 2p. So when these atomic orbitals are combining, how the molecular orbitals are formed, how we can represent it and how we can write their energy level diagram, that is our today topic. Now first go to the combination of 1s atomic orbitals. So now we know very well there are two combinations, one is addition and another one is subtraction. The addition is always results the bonding molecular orbital, subtraction is always results the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Now first one, so the molecular orbitals are formed by the addition of overlapping of two 1s orbital is results to the bonding molecular orbital. So that is represented with sigma 1s. So here 1s orbital and 1s orbital, the addition of the two orbitals is resulted into the sigma 1s, that is represented the bonding molecular orbital. The second one is the molecular orbital formed by subtraction of overlapping of two 1s orbitals results the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So that anti-bonding molecular orbital generally designated as sigma star 2s. Wherever this star is there, that is represents anti-bonding. Without the star is represents the bonding molecular orbital. So that is pictorially we can show. So these two are the 1s orbitals. The subtraction is takes place. So that will be resulted into the formation of the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Here the probability of finding the electron density in the sigma star 1s anti-bonding molecular orbital is 0. That means there should be present the nodal plane. So how we can draw this bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals energy level diagram? This is I have already discussed in terms of psi MO, psi star MO in the last class. But however you can see once. First we can write this energy and the atomic orbitals 1s and 1s. These two are may undergo combination in two ways. One is addition and another one is subtraction. Addition is results the bonding molecular orbital, that is sigma 1s, and subtraction can be results the anti-bonding molecular orbital, that is sigma star 1s. We know very well the bonding molecular orbital is always having the lower energy than either of the atomic orbitals, whereas anti-bonding molecular orbital is having the more energy than either of the atomic orbital. That's why, so in the below we write the bonding molecular orbital, that is sigma 1s, and anti-bonding molecular orbital, so is above the either atomic orbitals. That's why we can write on the upper side sigma star 1s. Like that, first we can draw this energy level diagram for the combination of 1s atomic orbital is results into the two molecular orbitals sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. The next one is second. After 1s, the 2s atomic orbitals. The combination of 2s atomic orbitals also will be combining in two ways. One is addition of overlapping, subtraction of overlapping. Addition of overlapping is results the bonding molecular orbital, that is sigma 2s, and the subtraction of overlapping of 2s orbitals is results the anti-bonding molecular orbital sigma star 2s. Now here same as the 1s orbital, there is no difference, only whatever the bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed, both are in same shape, only the differ in size. The bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbitals which are formed by combination of the 2s atomic orbitals are always larger in size compared to the molecular orbitals which are formed by the combination of 1s orbital. That is the only difference between the combination of 1s and another one is 2s orbitals. That is, they are almost same type of molecular orbitals are formed. There two molecular orbitals are formed. Here also two molecular orbitals are formed. There is bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding. Here also bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital. They are designated as sigma 1s, sigma star 1s. Here they are designated as sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. There the molecular orbitals which are formed by the combination of 1s orbital are in same shape as the molecular orbital which are obtained by the combination of 2s orbital. Only the difference in size. The size of the molecular orbitals which are formed by combination of 2s atomic orbitals are somewhat larger in size compared to the molecular orbitals which are formed by the combination of 1s orbitals. So same like that, how we can draw the energy level diagram by the combination of 1s orbital, in the same way we can draw the energy level diagram. First we draw this energy level diagram. First energy, this is 2s orbital, 2s atomic orbitals combined together to form two molecular orbitals. They are sigma 2s bonding molecular orbital, sigma star 2s anti-bonding molecular orbital. We know that bonding molecular orbital is always having a lower energy than either of the atomic orbitals. So that's why we write below that sigma 2s. Then anti-bonding molecular orbital is having the higher energy than either of the atomic orbital, so that we can represent the anti-bonding molecular orbital here. This is the molecular orbital energy level diagram for the combination of the 2s atomic orbitals. So the next one after 2s, the 2p orbitals. So 2p subshell consists of three orbitals, namely px, py, pz. All these three are mutually perpendicular to each other, and in that among the x and y and z axis, x axis taken as the internuclear axis. So the remaining y and z axis are perpendicular to this internuclear axis. So now here this combination of the 2p orbitals, 2px, 2py and 2pz leads to the formation of two types of molecular orbitals. They are the formation of sigma molecular orbital, formation of pi molecular orbital. Out of the three atomic orbitals, so let us take first the 2px orbitals. So the x is acts as an internuclear axis, that is first I explain formation of sigma molecular orbitals. So when 2px orbitals are brought closer along the internuclear axis, they overlap head-on, forming sigma bond. So the 2px orbitals are brought close to each other with the same sign, that will be resulted into the bonding molecular orbitals. With the different signs, that is subtraction, will be results into the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So that is I written here. When the two orbitals overlap by addition of electron waves with the proper sign, bonding molecular orbital is formed. So that is designated as sigma 2px, because head-on overlapping is always results to the sigma bond, because it is an x-axis and internuclear axis. So that here sigma 2px bonding molecular orbital is formed. So here like this 2px, here addition of electron waves takes place with the proper signs, that will be resulted into the formation of bonding molecular orbital, which is designated as sigma 2px. And the other one, the two wave functions may be subtracted. The subtracted always results to the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So that is designated as sigma star 2px. Now here the 2px and 2px orbitals are subtracted. So that will be resulted into the sigma star 2px. Between in the molecular orbital there is a nodal plane is there. That is the probability of finding the electron density is 0 in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. This dots line is representing the nodal plane. Now here, whenever the 2px orbitals are combined, so two molecular orbitals are formed. One is bonding molecular orbital and another one is anti-bonding molecular orbital. So they are sigma 2px and sigma star 2px. So that what is the energy level diagram for this combination of the 2px orbitals? Same as we discussed in the last two cases, 1s and 2s, 2px and 2px atomic orbitals combining together to form two molecular orbitals. One is bonding molecular orbital, that is always having the lower energy than either of the atomic orbital, and the anti-bonding molecular orbital sigma star 2px, which is having the higher energy than either of the two atomic orbital. Here sigma white we are written because this head-on overlapping takes place because x-axis has a internuclear axis, that is keep in your mind. Might be in your previous classes I am explaining z-axis as internuclear axis, but here I will take, and that is your wish. So here I will take the x-axis as a internuclear axis. So this is about the formation of sigma molecular orbital. So then next we discuss the formation of pi molecular orbitals. So now in the formation of pi molecular orbital, the 2py and 2pz orbitals are involved because out of the 3 p orbitals, one is involved in the sigma bond, the remaining two are involved in the pi bond formation. You know very well the pi bond formation takes place by the sidewise overlapping. Now let us take the first the 2py orbitals. When the 2py atomic orbitals of one atom approaches the 2py atomic orbital of another atom, the overlapping occurs, that overlapping is sidewise, that will be resulted into the formation of the pi molecular orbitals. So what are the pi molecular orbitals are formed? Again here also two molecular orbitals are formed. One is addition of electron waves and subtraction of electron waves will be resulted into the two types of pi molecular orbital. So that is the first one. Molecular orbital is formed by sidewise overlapping of two py atomic orbitals by addition of electron waves is called pi bonding molecular orbital. That pi bonding molecular orbital is designated as pi 2py. So now here the two atomic orbitals 2py and 2py. So these two are brought close to each other. As a result, the sidewise overlapping takes place. Here the addition of electron waves takes place. That will be resulted into the formation of pi 2py bonding molecular orbital. The presence of electron cloud above the plane and below the plane. And similarly, here another pi molecular orbital is formed by the subtraction of electron waves. That is molecular orbital formed by sidewise overlapping of two py atomic orbitals by subtraction of electron waves is called anti-bonding pi molecular orbital. This is designated as pi star 2py. So now here 1 2py, another 2py orbitals. So these can undergo sidewise overlapping. So by subtraction of the waves with opposite sign, that will be resulted into the anti-bonding molecular orbital, that is pi star 2py ABMO. Similarly, if you are apply for 2pz, then 2pz is also will be perpendicular to internuclear axis, and two more. So the molecular orbitals are formed. What are that? If 2pz is involved, if 2pz and 2pz is involved, the two types of the molecular orbitals are formed. One is bonding and another one is anti-bonding. That is pi 2pz and pi star 2pz. So like that, the two molecular orbitals, one is a bonding molecular orbital and another one is anti-bonding molecular orbital is formed. That means out of the three p orbitals, so one p orbital is overlapping axially, that will be resulted into the two molecular orbitals. One is sigma 2px, sigma star, second one is sigma star 2px. And whereas the remaining two p orbitals 2py and 2pz, they can undergo the sidewise overlapping, that will be resulted into the four molecular orbitals. In that one, two are the bonding molecular orbitals, two are the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. They are pi 2py, pi 2pz are bonding molecular orbital, pi star 2py and pi star 2pz anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed. So this is the combination of the 2py atomic orbital. Similarly, the 2pz atomic orbitals also will be combined. So when we see the energy level diagram for these molecular orbitals, so same like we discussed in the 2px, 2py and 2py. these two are combining together to form two molecular orbitals. One is below the plane and another one is above the plane, below and above the either of the two atomic orbitals. Bonding molecular orbital is below and anti-bonding molecularity is above the either of the two atomic orbitals. Suppose if you draw for the 2pz, just in the place of 2p, what we write? 2pz. So the pi 2pz is below and pi star 2pz above the either of these two atomic orbitals. So like that we can draw the molecular orbital energy level diagram. Simply whenever the 2p atomic orbitals are combining, so totally, so the 3 bonding molecular orbitals, so 3 anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed. So out of these, okay, the 6 molecular orbitals, so the 2 are related to the sigma and 4 are related to the pi molecular orbitals. In that sigma, so one is a sigma 2px bonding molecular orbital and another one is sigma star 2px anti-bonding molecular orbital. When it comes to the pi molecular orbitals, so pi 2py and pi 2pz are the bonding molecular orbitals, pi star 2py and pi star 2pz are anti-bonding molecular orbitals, because x-axis is an internuclear axis that will be resulted into the formation of sigma bond. The remaining two axes will be resulted into the formation of the pi bond. So this is about the combination of the 2p orbitals. Like that, so 1s combination of 1s orbital is resulted into the two molecular orbitals, sigma 1s, sigma star 1s. Combination of the 2s atomic orbitals is resulted into two molecular orbitals, sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. The combination of the 2p orbitals are resulted into the sigma 2px, pi 2py, pi 2pz bonding molecular orbital, pi star 2py, pi star 2pz and sigma star 2px anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So this is about the combination of the atomic orbitals which will be resulted into the formation of the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So the combination of the atomic orbitals is resulted into the different types of bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So far we discussed in that 1s atomic orbitals combined to form two molecular orbitals, sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. Similarly, the combination of the 2s orbital is also leads to the formation of two molecular orbitals, sigma 2s and sigma star 2s, while the combination of the 2p orbitals is resulted into 6 molecular orbitals. They are sigma 2px, pi 2py, pi 2pz, sigma star 2px, pi star 2py, pi star 2pz. Okay, these are the molecular orbitals are formed. When we see their energy, whether all the molecular orbitals are having the same energy? No. But one conclusion we made very clear. The bonding molecular orbitals are always having the lower energy than anti-bonding molecular orbital in their respective atomic orbitals combined. That means if sigma 1s and sigma star 1s, sigma 1s is having the lower energy, sigma star 1s is having the higher energy. When we are comparing these two with the sigma 2s and the sigma star 2s, what is the energy of that one? So that can be determined by some spectroscopic methods. So what is the order of all these bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals is given. The first one is sigma 1s is the lowest energy. After that sigma star 1s, then sigma 2s, then sigma star 2s, then sigma 2px, pi 2py, pi 2pz. Both are having the same energy here. After that pi star 2py and pi star 2pz, these are also having the same energy. Degenerate these two are and these two. After that sigma star 2px. That means it is said to be higher in energy, it is said to be lower in energy. So generally this is we can apply it for this is you need to be remember, it is very important to draw the molecular energy level diagram for any homodiatomic molecule. So it is very important to remember this is the order can be applied for the greater than 14 electrons. In whichever the diatomic molecule, when we are adding the number of electrons, if we are getting that is greater than 14, this is the energy order we have to be followed. Suppose if the less than or equal to 14 electrons are present, the above sequence is not correct. So there is a small change is there. This until the sigma star 2s, it will be same. After that, here sigma 2px is there, but here pi 2py and pi 2pz is the okay, least energy. After that sigma 2px, then pi star 2py, pi star 2pz, and sigma star 2px. Here the differences exist. So this is comes first, and later it will becomes whenever. So the diatomic molecules are having the less than or equal to 14 electrons. So these are the two energy orders we need to be remembered. There is no shortcut for this one. So how we can determine this is the energy order? There is some methods are there. So from spectroscopic methods are used to determine the energy of these molecular orbitals, that is bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital. Wherever we write these three lines, that is indicates both are having the same energy. So now, while filling these molecular orbitals, we have to be follow the Wundt's rule, Paulus exclusive principle, and Above principle. First, the electrons are filled in the sigma 1s. Each orbital maximum can accommodate how many electrons? 2 electrons with opposite spin. Here the 2 electrons. After that, then 3rd, 4th, then 5th, 6th, then 7th, 8th, then 9th, 10th. Like that we can fill up. Suppose whenever the orbitals are having the same energy, we need to be follow the Wundt's rule. First fill up the 1 electron in each molecular orbital. After that the pairing of electrons takes place. So that is we have to be follow here. In the case of pi 2py, pi 2pz, and pi star 2py and pi star 2pz, we need to be follow the Wundt's rule. And whatever the electrons we are filling, that must be having the opposite spin. So always the electrons are first go to the lower energy order, then only it goes to the higher energy order. That is Above principle, Paulus exclusive principle, Wundt's rule. These three rules we have to be strictly follow while filling the electrons in the molecular orbitals. So the other important factor, they may ask the question, okay, in your examination, bond order or bond multiplicity. This is I am already discussed in the beginning of this chapter, bond order. So that is bond order is equal to number of bonds present between two atoms in a molecule. That is called bond order. Bond order is equal number of bonds present between the two atoms in a molecule. How we can determine this bond order? Bond order is equal to 1/2 into NB minus NA. So what do you mean by NB and NA? NB is equal to number of electrons present in bonding molecular orbital BMO. Na is equal to number of electrons present in anti-bonding molecular orbital. So like that, by calculating how many number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital, by substituting in this one we are getting the value. If bond order is equal to 1, that is a single bond. If bond order is equal to 2, one single bond, one pi bond is present. If bond order is 3, that means 3 bonds are present between the two atoms. One is sigma bond, 2 or pi bonds. Like that we can determine the bond order. Here one more important point is always the number of electrons present in the bonding molecular orbital is greater than the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So that will be resulted into the stable molecule. That will be favor the formation of a bond and a molecule. That molecule is said to be stable molecule. Either if Nb is less than or equal to Na, that molecule is said to be the unstable molecule. So like that, by knowing the number of electrons in the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital, we can also predict that molecule is stable or unstable. So the another important property is a magnetic property. Because in the beginning of this theory, molecular orbital theory, we say that the oxygen molecule is paramagnetic. But when we see the structure of the oxygen molecule, it seems to be diamagnetic. But experimentally it is proved that paramagnetic, it has the two unpaired electrons. That is, we can easily predict it with the help of the molecular orbital theory. Anyway, here two are important points. That is, one is diamagnetic and another one is paramagnetic. So what is the difference between dia and paramagnetic property? So when we are filling the electrons in the different bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals, by following the Abo principle, Pauli's exclusive principle and Und's rule, if any orbital is singly occupied, only if one electron is present, okay, or singly occupied, that is said to be which one? Paramagnetic. That means in the bonding or anti-bonding molecular orbitals are filled with single electrons, so that molecule is always said to be paramagnetic. If all the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals are doubly filled with opposite spin, so that molecule is said to be diamagnetic. Like that we can predict the magnetic property. So to determine the bond order or the magnetic property of a given diatomic molecule, definitely we have to know the energy order of the different molecular orbitals which are formed by combination of the atomic orbital. That is just now I say the sequence. When we are remembering the sequence, it is easy to determine the bond order and the magnetic property. Without knowing that sequence, it is not possible to determine the bond order or magnetic property, because both are depending upon that sequence. So once we are able to write the sequence by filling the electrons, then it is easy to know how many bonding molecular orbital electrons and how many electrons bonding in anti-bonding molecular orbital. From that one we can get the bond order. When we are observing, so that all the sequence order, is there any orbital, is there any molecular orbital is filled with a single electron, definitely that is said to be paramagnetic. If all the molecular orbitals are doubly filled, okay, then that is said to be diamagnetic. Like that we can predict the magnetic property. So this is about the combination of the atomic orbitals gives the molecular orbitals, and after that the energy order of the different molecular orbitals, and how to determine the bond order and how to predict the magnetic property. So that is we are learning in this class. In the next class, I will explain the energy level diagrams, molecular orbital energy level diagrams for the different molecules, so with the help of these concepts. Thank you very much.